Hello, welcome to the channel Trash from the Internet. In this channel I post videos about buying some cheap trash from internet that's broken and trying to fix here. Over here we have a Canon 5D Mark II camera that I have gotten for very cheap, but it has one major problem. The problem is that the mirror itself, it doesn't move at all. You press any buttons to move it, to fix it in place, to go to the live view, it's not working or anything. So, and second problem, that there is no mirror. There's the mirror assembly, the mirror frame, but the mirror is gone. So I don't know what has the previous owner done to this camera, but there were a lot of stripped screws. For example, I could try to take this one and show. No, that's the good one. And over here, yeah, we have some crazy stripped screws, and I could actually zoom in. So we have some very stripped screws, and everything is bad with the camera. And actually, today I wanted to show you the inner workings of how the how the shutter, not how the shutter, but how the mirror mechanism works. Because it's a little bit complicated and I couldn't find any information on the internet about it. So, and I have to fix it. So I actually took everything apart, but actually I found a small workaround, because you kinda have to remove this steel frame to get access to everything over here. But the downsides of taking off the frame is that you have to also take the matrix itself, the thing that takes the photos, the sensor. Yeah, you have to take off the sensor, and it's calibrated and everything on Mark 5, on D4 Mark 2, D5 Mark 2. It has the rubber calibration thingy, so it's practically, if you unscrew it and you screw it back, it's not going to be calibrated, and I don't know, you might have some focusing problems and everything like that. But I will show later how I figured out how to take take the parts from here and get access to everything over here. But first of all, I want to show you what technically was happening. From the technical standpoint, the camera couldn't move the mirror itself, but when I was moving it by hand, you can see moving the mirror. Um, it moves, and it had a little bit of resistance, but moving the motor itself, like there's over here, I could actually find the part. Where's the part itself? Oh no, actually the motor is over here, and it was connected. And actually I could zoom in as well for you to see everything a little bit better. But over here I'm going to show, like over here is the motor, and the motor was moving this little gear, and this little gear over here is moving this gear over here. So moving this gear manually, I found out that it does move this gear, and it does also move this gear. And actually I could see from a little window over here what's happening inside here. And it was moving the gears, everything was working. Actually it had some resistance, and this was going front and back and snapping into the place as everything should be. But the mirror itself, the mirror assembly, was not working at all. Okay, but at first I want to show you what's happening inside. So you have to remember that this small motor is moving this gear over here, and this is just the gearbox to transfer from one side to over here, from outside to inside, because here's also the little gear. So let's zoom in. So over here we have the assembly itself. So you can see if I move the mirror manually, there's a little knob over here that moves up and down. So this is the point where the mirror itself is moved. If you can see, if I move it with tweezers, it moves very smoothly and everything's okay. Actually, here is a little spring that makes the mirror go back down, but I have disconnected it because if I move it like this for you to show it, it might actually spring out and disappear. So I left it over there. But actually over here in the assembly itself, in the frame itself, there's also some springs that move the small mirror that goes to the focus sensor itself. So you can see, like, you can see the reflective thingy that moves, and it's moving together with it. So there's a spring itself. So no springs are connected here, but there's a little spring over here that it makes it go down. So if I move it gently, it snaps back down. But with this spring, it snaps much harder down. So it's just to show. But over here, so how does the mirror get flipped up when you're taking a photo? So there is this, I don't know how to call it, but it's an interesting part. It's like an arm that moves the mirror, the little thingy that we talked about. It moves it up and down like this, and it's made in such manner that when it goes up, it locks over there. You can see it locks. It has a little small arm over there, but there is no spring, so it doesn't go down as well. So just for the explanation. So this arm has to move the mirror. So this is the one responsible for doing the movements of the mirror. So what does move this little arm? So actually, it should always be at tension. There always should be a tension that moves it forward like this. And then there's this gear which converts that movement, which actually I could take it off and show. Like, look, it's like a snail form. And when it moves this little thingy up and down, and moves everything. I will show you how it works. So let me put it back right now, and I'll have to use both of my arms to show you. Hope you will see it. I'll look at it. So imagine there's tension. Something is pushing down here. Actually, I can show you the part that is pushing down. So the assembly that goes on top, there's a little springy arm over here. I can show you from the other side that you can see it's a spring. So it's a spring that it is pushing this arm down from this point. So this spring, this one, is connected over there. So it pushes it down. So I'm going to push it manually from this point. Actually, no, I'm going to push it from this point. It doesn't matter. But actually there are, like, this arm consists of 2 parts or even more. So it's a little finicky, but I can show you how it works from this point as well. So at this point, I'm going to put it at the normal point where it is. So let's move the gear, and over here it is at its normal point. So we have to flip the mirror down. So everything you can see, the mirror is down. You can see from the viewfinder everything. The mirror is reflecting, and let's imagine that you are taking a photo. And actually, I wanted to explain how does the camera know where is this gear facing. So how does the camera know where this gear is at? No, what state of the mirror it is. So from the snail part of here, like where it is it open, is it closed, is it locked, or anything like that. So over here above it, you can see there is a little bit of metal strip over here that pushes against this ribbon PCB over here. So there's a kind of a pattern when this moves. It connects different paths to each other, and that's how the camera knows that where it is facing the mirror itself. So this motor is moving this gear. This gear goes forward, and let me show you. This gear at this point there's the piece of the snail that is not letting it go further. So the gear moves and it jumps down in the free space. It jumps and bam, the mirror is up, and the sensor is taking the photo, and also the thingy that opens in there. So like this, it takes the photo. So, and now it has to close, so you can again see from the viewfinder. So it keeps moving and it just goes down, and whoa, actually I see this for the first time because these arms have never done such a thing. that it goes. It's actually pretty interesting how it works. It's actually pretty complicated. I might not be able to explain fully how it works, but so this is in place. The arm is itself in place, and these things. This thing is moving. This thing is moving as it should. But this thing is not locking, and the arm itself is not locking. Why so? What does it do? What purpose does it give? You can see it goes like that. What? So it might be the camera fault, perhaps. Because, okay, let me test my theory. So, if we have it like this, and we try to go back, we can't. But if we go forward and then back, then this opens perhaps. Yeah, this opens. And what is it for? What is it for? So, when this goes, nothing happens. And if this is under attention, oh, so if this thing is under tension like this, and it goes like this, it snaps like this, and it just doesn't do anything, and it doesn't grab the arm. And for it to grab the arm, oh, I remember remove the gear itself. Yeah. So boom. So for it to lock back in, it has to move. Yes, it has to move back. So it's just not moving back enough. And this thing, maybe this thing has worn out a little bit, but there's the grease that doesn't, or it has worn out. Can't tell. Anyway, there's grease. That should be protecting it. Well, it doesn't look so worn out. It does not. That should be a really bad design if it were worn out like that. So there's nothing else that... There's completely nothing else that... Oh, whoa. So might be because of this spring, but... Okay, let's remove this spring. What is it for even? So it's has tension over here, there's tension over there. It's responsible for getting this down, right? But if it doesn't push it so down, okay, let's connect it. So this is under tension. Bam, it locks. Everything's okay. And somehow it again unlocks. Kinda. Might there be a part that's missing? There might be even. There might even be something missing in my configuration. Anyway, let me put the spring back. So I will do some research and try to find out what's wrong. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to put this into the video. Actually, I found out that the previous owner had put this bearing that it has to be here. He put it over here, where's the spring, and it fits perfectly on there. But I was really confused why it is on here, because I found out what this thing does. It is the one that releases. Okay, the black arm is the one that raises, but the silver arm is that the one releases. So when it goes up, when it locks, uh, okay, this one raises. So and this is the unlock arm. So this one raises it. So when it's raised, this one locks it, and when it goes through a little bit some gears in a special position, one arm of this gets triggered and it unlocks, so it falls down, so it doesn't have to go to the full rotation. So it's pretty interesting, and this should be the fix because this thing was here. So I don't know. It seems like the previous owner had broken his mirror and he tried to replace it, the whole assembly, and he might have fucked up. Alrighty, welcome back. I have just finished making the part that was missing, and it is over here. It's a second bearing. It's like this, and so in the conclusion, the guy that I bought the camera from, I don't know how many previous owners have been there, but it seems that that they were trying to replace the mirror assembly and the mirror inner workings, and they forgot to add this thing to over here, and that's why the arm for the release and the other button that stiffens it not work. So, and if we put the bearing over here, then this one is a little bit thinner and the mirror doesn't go all the way up, and it leaves a little bit. So I'm putting the bearing on right now, and actually I was looking at everything, and I thought that the grease on the gear itself over here, it has gotten pretty nasty, pretty old and pretty nasty, and I'm thinking that I could actually replace it. I have the same grease over here. It's silicone based grease over here. So I'm going to clean it up and let me take a napkin. So we are going to clean it up, and also I think that I'm going to put some lubrication over on some other parts so they work a little bit better, hopefully. Well, hopefully that it could last a little bit longer. So yeah, and I found out the second arm over here, you can see the gear, there are two layers. There is one, the upper layer is for the black arm, and for the little bit lower layer is the silver arm, and that controls the release and the tensioner arm. So yeah, you can see cleaning it off, you can see that there's black grime everywhere. So I think that cleaning it is a pretty great idea. So I'm gonna clean it a little bit like this to take all the old grime out. Perfect. Perfect. So yeah. Alright, found it. So let's take a little bit of the silicone grease. Checking it up. And just applying it a little bit. That's a very good grease. Works super good. And also on the gear itself, on the moving parts, needs some grease. Over here and over there. I'd say even a little bit more, because it's on the it's constantly moving when you're taking pictures, like going round and round. So it is the one, and it is from plastic, so it's rubbing against metal. It's pretty nice and smooth metal, you know, rubbing plastics against metal isn't so good. So all of the grease over there, very nice. So and it goes on, nice smoothly. And also I really want to put some grease on this arm. So let's move the shutter up. Some grease on this arm. No, it's constantly, or it's metal rubbing against metal, so you know, might not end so well. So yeah, and it seems kind of appropriate. So, yeah. And something's dropping again. So it seems fine. Gear is in place. What can we add? I think at first we can release the mirror. Then we can put the spring back over where it was before. So over and over there. Oh, it springs back. It springs back. That's the spring. That's what the spring does. All right, and stay there. Can even put a little bit down pressure. Okay. And the spring goes away. So can I move this a little bit upwards? Yeah, I can. But it doesn't. No, well, the spring holds better if it's a little bit upward. So it's like this. Why did you have to come loose? Stupid spring. No, it's pretty good spring. So let me put it again. So this is how it usually should be. And over here. Like that. Yeah, that's good. That is good. Just stay there, don't move. And that seems to be alright. It looks like to be here or something. We don't need that. So let's zoom in. And yeah, I think we can try to slowly assemble it. So spring is released. Everything's okay. Everything's like that. We have the spring, the gear, pump, two bearings. Let's try to assemble it. Come on, get in. All right. And on it goes, please. It's on. So can we go down? Oh, actually the spring has to be go over here. All right, so yeah, perfect. We have the spring, everything. All right, so time to do some screwing around. We have one screw over here. Move it backwards until it clicks. Okay, we'll tension them later. So next screw. Oh yeah, finally click into place. And the other ones. One. And it goes. One over here. It is pretty hard to get in. But it surely has to go in there. Oh. Okay. So let's put some tension on there. Don't want anything to move away. And perfect. So let's put this ribbon back. Perfect. And now let's tension the spring. Time to tension the spring. So it's there. Please don't go above. Go down. Yes, good. Very good. And it seems like it worked. So we can zoom in even more. We can see everything inside there. With some light for you. You can see the gear. Oi, the light. The light tried to kill you. Alright, so let's get an angle on there. Everything looks to be good. Looks to be pretty alright. So spring looks kind of strange. Instead, let's move it a little bit up. Alright, it's in its place now. I might even say that I would like to add some grease to the spring, because it's always like a rubbing against everything, and grease shouldn't do anything bad, in my opinion. I'm not an expert, but in my opinion, it should be pretty okay. So I'm going to zoom you out, because it's not so easy. So, boom. Now the spring is properly lubed. And it fell for the first time. Clumsy me. Hopefully did not damage anything. First time the assembly falls, because I was not paying that much attention. That's what happens. That is what happens. So let's put the motor back in. So in it goes. Let's arrange with the wires so they are in their place. They have to be over here, facing to the bottom. And now let's flip it. And I hate this rug currently because it always tends to stick to the PCB. So let's see. One screw and the other. And hopefully finally everything will be correct. I'll not have to do any more fixing. So everything is tight. Mirror is currently up, and let's see. Let's give you some light so you can see in the motor. You can see. Oh, look at that light is jiggly. All right. Let's spin the gear in the correct position. You can see the gear inside there spinning. Okay, it goes down. Very nice. Very interesting. And don't come loose, please. Alright, we'll deal with it later. First, we have to see, does everything work? Will the mirror flip to the up there? Of course, I don't have a mirror, but the mirror assembly. So let's keep on scrolling. Keep on scrolling. We're nearing the limit. And any moment now. Any moment. Yeah, it's right now. Okay, it flips. And it is fully. Yeah, you can see it's touching the foam, everything is correctly. And let's move it a little bit, and it should drop down. drop down. Very nice. All right, so I would like to try it again. I'll do it faster. So just to test that everything is as it should be. Because it took such a long time to figure out what the problem was. Because nothing was broken, the part just was missing. The previous owner or whoever tried to fix the mirror didn't fix it in the end. The mirror got lost. Anyway, the assembly I'm going to try to buy a mirror and just glue it in there. Drop. Yeah, and now drop again. Perfection. Alright, so that is done. So finally I can show you how the light. Finally I can try to show you how I even got inside here, because it was a process. So I'm going to put the ribbon back. And the major problem was with the audio, with the aux jack. Let me first place the motor wires in the correct position. It is like this. And in the place. Okay, we can get one cable in, but I want both of them. So one and place two. Yeah, it's somewhat, yeah, good. So, first of all, to get this one out, I have to do all the screws. There are some plenty of screws there, but the main thing is this wire, this little black wire that is connected to the audio card assembly itself. So yeah, so let me think where I got the screw from. I have a screw over here. I have forgotten where did it go, because it was a very small screw and I think it was this one, but it seems like I am a little bit wrong. Seems like I have not missed a spot. I have not missed a spot. It might be, no, these two screws or something else, because you had to unscrew these screws as well. And which is left, right corner. Yeah. All right, so let me just check if there's any place where I have forgotten anything. Neither there, neither there. Everything looks to be good, right? Yeah. So this has to go in, and it's like really finicky to get in there. Really finicky. You have to do some gymnastics with it, and it's pretty. And that was the hardest part, because you have to do the crazy gymnastics with it, because it really wants to stick everywhere. Really wants to stick everywhere, and you kind of have to find, it's like the little points where you can try to get it back in. Of course, getting it out was a little bit easier than, or might be otherwise. So because I already know what to do, you kind of have to experiment and see where it goes and where it doesn't. So at first you have to put the aux jack with the head in the frame itself. You have to again also watch out from the cables. So I'm doing it crooked ways and putting it in. And actually I tried to put the PCB behind this thing on. Oh, and it's in. And it is in. Such a nice thing from it. So yeah, we got it back in. But where does this little screw comes from? That is the biggest question. I think that previous owner had only placed one screw in there. It doesn't seem like this might be the correct screw skull. Or it might be even. So I think that's how we do it. The wires look like they're happy. This one not so much, because is there anything sticky? Yeah, there is something sticky below it. So. And yeah, boom, it is done. So how did I find out that? So that's most of the assembly, and this assembly, like at first it seems impossible to get the motor out and to access this portion, but because you kind of have to remove this one, but I didn't want to remove the sensor itself, so yeah, I found a way. So first it's unscrewing all the screws, taking this one out, doing the little crazy praying things, and then you can take the motor out, unscrew these screws, the 4 screws, and access everything. So, and how did I find out that there was a problem with the inner assembly? I was just moving the motor and I was seeing this gear spin, but there was no affection to the mirror itself. So as I saw with rotating it, it works, everything is correct, and yeah. So I'm going to put this back together and test it out, and it should be working. So yeah, that's kind of it. Getting to this place is kind of crazy. So I think that not a lot of people are going to have this problem, because this was a user error, not not something that broke, but something might break in there. So I don't know, the gears or whatever. So I didn't see any videos on the internet about this assembly itself. So yeah, this is the mirror assembly, how it works, what was wrong in my case, and I fixed it. So I'll put everything back together. It's going to be a long process. So hello, welcome back. This is the day 2. Yesterday I assembled everything, tested it, and it works fully. I can even show you that it perfectly works. The mirror is working perfectly. Well, there's no mirror. I will soon try to buy one to find, actually, but the assembly itself is not moving. I can even show you. Assembled the camera and everything is working perfectly. So when we change settings to live mode, the sensor is jumping up very nicely. You can see everything is working correctly. And even if we now press the take a picture button, you can see, bam, it's perfectly working. So I'm very happy about the results. The whole procedure, putting everything back together, was kind of painful. Actually managed to damage the ribbon cable that that connects all of these buttons to the circuit itself. This all phase. The LCD cable is fine, but the ribbon cable that goes here, the connector itself, I damaged it. I might possibly include a picture itself, but the clip that goes that closes, that makes sure it's under tension and locks the ribbon cable, I accidentally bent it the other direction and it kind of broke off. And I don't know, it was actually really crumbly and very soft plastic. And also some other pieces on this camera are also made from plastic, and they actually started degrading. So for example, there was actually, I have to put this, I have to find this plastic, please. I kind of lost it again, but yeah, it's very interesting, very how the camera is put together. And always remember to do everything with care. And with these DSLR cameras, the pro versions, with them, every piece that comes off, it comes very easily, and anything that includes a little bit of pressure from your side, that is bad. Everything has to close very easily. So it was my mistake of trying to push the connector, push the lock of the ribbon connector to the other way. It was a really big mistake because I broke it off and I had to jerry rig it, and it was not fun. And from everything, I kinda don't feel so safe about this camera, because now the cable, I used a little bit of silicone glue, not silicone glue, but some rubber glue for mobile phone screens, and it should be holding it together, and there's also a little foam piece that goes on top of it, but I really don't feel so safe anymore about this camera. So always, when you do anything, think and experiment. And yeah, but with the camera, it was like I took the whole day. It was like 12 hours just to disassemble everything, fix it, and then put it back together. It was such a pain, and in the late evening, I was very tired, and I just wanted to put it faster together. So there was only this piece left to put back. So I put the ribbon cable in and tried to lock it, but I broke the connector off because, of course, I was locking it to the other side, because with the ribbon connectors, I'm quite used to the ribbon connectors that are then phones, because when there's the side where you slide the cable in, usually on mobile phones, there's also the little door that you have to close to the direction of the ribbon cable, but on these cameras it is the other direction. So just by accidental, I just put it on the other direction and it completely broke off. So yeah, always measure twice, cut once. That's the saying. So you should test it a little bit out and know which direction it has to go. So my mistake, but it is working. It is taking pictures, and yeah, it is very nice, very nice, very nice. With the mirror, without the mirror, you cannot see anything, but on the live mode, you can see everything precisely. So, and with the live mode, I have to use this focus button to focus actually something. So, yeah, that's it, and I hope this information helps you a little bit. So yeah, do everything with care. My video is just an example of what I did, what worked for me, what didn't work for me, what you have to look out for. Look also other videos, and yeah, try to be really safe, because yeah, it is what it is. And from YouTube videos, actually, I have had the experience of them using a special tool. Like, for example, there was a tablet that I tried to actually. I'm going to get it right now. So I was watching a YouTube video how to fix the screen on this tablet, because the glass itself, the how was it called? The digitizer, no, I don't know, the glass part, that the touch sensor, it was completely broken for me, but the inner screen was working perfectly. So I watched a few YouTube videos and that decided to stick to one YouTube video, and how to take off the glass, because it's really stuck on there. There's like double-sided tape over here, all the edges, and it's very hard to take off. So the guy was using a paper, or no, a plastic playing card, and it was heating up everything and just slowly going around everything, and that's how he got the glue to unstick. But the actual big problem is that over here is the ribbon cable itself. It's connected. It's like bent over the screen, and it's quite close to the screen, but it's still the black border. So I was just casually going with the card, hitting everything up, and just trying to open everything. And actually, I managed to damage the whole ribbon cable. So I had to replace the LCD as well. So that's the problem with YouTube videos. For some people, they know, but they don't tell on the video what exactly you have to watch out, and you just have to be really, really careful. And yeah, in that case, I don't know what. In that case, I could have watched the whole video and try to look where under the screen where are the problematic parts. So when he opened the whole glass section of it, I could see the connector there, and I had to assume that okay, I have to be really careful there or not push the card in there. So yeah, that's the problem with the videos, and you really have to be careful with everything. So opening these expensive cameras, it's really really hard, and you have to be very careful about everything. And actually, I'm really really angry about my mistake, that I did such a mistake. But you have to always forgive you. But for the next time, I have to remember that. Yeah, you have to do everything very carefully. And when you're putting anything, when you have disassembled something, or you're trying to assemble it, and you have done it a few times, then you start to do it automatically. You don't think, you just bam bam open the connectors and everything. And that is very bad. You have to think, you have to look, because every device is different. And I have also broken the connector on a laptop keyboard. That way I was just I had opened it many times, and I just take a plastic spudger and jank it off. But I also broke it. So you have to be very careful with these devices, and taking a little bit of time to think how everything works. What do you do? What are you doing? What you do that can actually damage the parts. You have to think about everything like that, and just taking a little bit more time will result in better results. So my mistake of of breaking the connector arm off costed me 2 hours. I had to think, I had to experiment the ways that I can close the connector, but it would have been like 20 seconds to figure out how it works, and just slowly putting it in. So it's I lost a lot of time, and taking time to think will save you time in the future. So be very careful with devices, and yeah, that's my suggestion. And yeah, I hope to upload some more videos on the YouTube. This is my first one about repairing this camera. So if you have any questions, any questions about the camera, about the insides, might be able to help you. Might other people on the comment section might help you. So I will try to reply to the most if I get any comments for this. But yeah, see you next time, and take good care of your cameras. And if you find something broken, try to fix it and try to learn. And yeah, I hope you learn from something. So yeah, have a great day. Goodbye.